Oof. Check it out. Arizona Fruit Punch, my favorite. Okay. Childish Gambino recently dropped his new latest hit, This Is America. It has sparked a number of debates, a number of conversations. It's been a talking point for the last week. And every time a talking point happens, a big piece of music affects popular culture, there are eventually going to be parodies and remakes.
This is Minecraft. Don't catch you grief and stuff.
The piece I'd like to talk about today is Nicole Arbour, This Is America, Women's Edit. In my opinion, this remake fails artistically. It misses all the points it's trying to say, it misses all the points from the original, and overall, it's just bad, on top of being a cringe fest. I don't really want to go into why it's a cringe fest right now, but I have to show the clips.
We just want to be pretty, pretty that's the goal. We just want his money, get him and be whole.
This is America, we'll say North America. Yeah, I'm so sexy, I'm gonna get it. Yeah, watch me move. Yeah, these my titties, that's my tool. I'm being childish. Gambino.
But this video isn't about the cringe fest that this video is. So, in the original Childish Gambino, This Is America, the song starts off with some nice peppy music. It zooms in on Gambino's back. He dances forward a bit. And then he approaches a guy in a chair. There are about 4 beats of confusion, not really know what's going on. You see a guy in a chair with a bag over his head, and Childish Gambino pulling out a gun. There are 4 beats of dread, hoping that what you think is going to happen doesn't happen, and then it happens. The impact. Right at the drop of the beat, Childish Gambino shoots a guy in the back of the head. There is huge impact here. This is saying a lot. It goes from a really peppy beat to a really dark, bassy, scary beat just after 1 gunshot. This is an extremely powerful moment, and it's changing a lot. This defines the rest of the music video and the rest of the song. Now let's look at Nicole Arbour's version.
We just want his money, get him and be whole.
So first you can see there are about 4 beats of her walking up to the woman breastfeeding in the chair. Then there are 4 beats of Nicole Arbour getting her phone out. She gets her phone out. What, is she going to start taking a video? Is she going to call someone? Is she just going to throw the phone at the girl's head? Is she going to use her phone for a flashlight? Let's see what happens.
Get him and be whole.
This is America.
She flexes. All Nicole Arbour does here is flex. This does bear resemblance to The Women Is Strong, but why? In the original, the point was that our protagonist does something terrible. He kills someone. In this version, our protagonist, Nicole Arbour, just sort of says women is strong while police take away the girl who's breastfeeding. That doesn't make any sense at all. It literally makes no sense. Nicole Arbour doesn't do anything. She just stands in the foreground while this injustice happens slightly in a different part of the foreground. I still can't believe how she's trying to compare the injustice of gun violence to the injustice of not being able to breastfeed your children in public. Like, yes, police coming up and detaining a woman because she's breastfeeding in public is fucked up, but at the end of the day, she's just gonna get kicked out of that park. The person that's dead from gun violence is probably fucking dead. It's very hard to compare those two. But what injustice is as impactful as gun violence that only affects women? I really can't think of any, so I'll give him a pass on this one. So now let's talk about the second drop. In the original, Childish Gambino walks into a room full of children in a church choir singing, and then he takes an automatic rifle and mows them all down. Let's see how Nicole Arbour handles the second drop. It's gotta be with the same level of impactfulness, right? Because why else would you make a video like this?
This is America. Don't catch you shining now. Don't catch you shining now. Look what you're doing now. Oh.
So she decides she's going to walk up to a happy couple that probably just got married And it turns out the guy is handing hearts out to a bunch of different women. So you're comparing school shootings to a man being unfaithful. Before we can even talk about how retarded that is, I think we have to talk about the fact that you can't put someone being unfaithful in a women-specific video because men aren't the only gender that can be unfaithful. Have you heard of thoughts? Women can also be unfaithful. It's not like it's only a problem that women have that they get cheated on. Men also get cheated on, so I don't know what they're trying to say here. I really don't. Let's just say she's covering unfaithfulness in general. How can you compare that to children being massacred? I really don't think that you can. So now that we've discussed how the events that are comparable in this video to the events from Childish Gambino's video just don't work, let's just talk about the point of Childish Gambino's video versus the point of her video. Did you know in Donald Glover's version, there's a suicide depicted? At one point, the guy jumps from the balcony, and it's implied that he killed himself. I can almost guarantee that most of you didn't see this happening the first time you watched it. You probably didn't even know it happened until I pointed out. I didn't notice it until someone else pointed it out to me. This is all happening while kids are dancing in the foreground and he's dancing in the foreground. The point Donald Glover is trying to make with the suicide and all the other shit that happens in the background is that these injustices are being ignored. They're going on in the background while dancing and the latest trend are happening in the foreground. So the question, did you know there was a suicide in the video, really means a lot. You hear about all the latest trends that happen, but you don't hear about all the shitty things that go on in the background. So let's compare that to Nicole Arbour's video. Did you know that there was medication abuse and depictions of the effect of social media? Well, you have to, because it's literally in the forefront. All of the issues she's trying to bring up aren't in the background, they're literally in the forefront of the video. This misses the entire point Donald Glover was trying to say. She's saying something completely different, and it just doesn't work. She's trying to shove these issues up in our face, and the issues aren't up in our face. The issues she are trying to talk about are shoved to the background, but she's not depicting it that way. So she's just telling us shitty stuff that's going on, and I don't give a shit. If these were to happen in the background... Alright, so the entire point of her video doesn't mean anything. Now let's look at the lyrics. In Donald Glover's original song, the lyrics were...
This is America. Guns in my area. I got the strap. I gotta carry him.
He is basically talking about the glorification of gun violence, but that's not just all. Guns are highly controversial. Some people think they're very good, some people think they're very bad. But in the end, guns are guns. They're just an object, they're just a tool. What really matters is how people use them, and that's the big gun debate. You can't really say whether guns are good or bad, because they're just guns. Now, Nicole Arbour's version goes, the lyrics are, "This is America, rape in my area, you gotta drink, the roofies got into ya." This differs a lot because rape is objectively bad. Nobody can argue that rape is a good thing. Donald Glover's version really makes you think. It's very interpretable. Her version is just rape is bad, and girls get roofied a lot. The lyricism in this is very bad because what she's trying to say is very obvious. It's not open to interpretation at all. If she would have said something like, "This is America, there's sex in my area," that could mean a lot. It could cover rape, it could cover sexual abuse, it could cover how men take advantage of women in the workplace or other professional places. It could just talk about how men are hungry after sex in general and how women have to deal with it. But she doesn't do that. She doesn't leave it open to interpretation. She just says, "rape in my area." With a line like "rape in my area," it just doesn't make you think at all. It's very lacking artistically, and I just don't like it. There's so many different ways she could have put that to where it made a lot more impact than how she did. So one thing I actually do really like about this video is that instead of the kids dancing, she has women that are overly sexualized dancing. I really think that says a lot, because that really says how we ignore the actual women problems because we just see sexualized women in the media, and maybe they're not even sexualized. We just see successful women in the media and we think there isn't a problem, and that's not right. There are problems. So I think the fact that there are overly sexualized women as her group in the foreground is a good contrast. But to get the same message across, these women shouldn't be affected by any of the things happening, because the message is the women in the foreground show there aren't a problem while there are problems in the background. To have these women directly be interfered with the bad things that are happening completely goes against the message she's trying to send. The message is that media portrays women in a good state. This video fails at saying that. This video would be saying that the women that have the attention of the media, bad things are happening to them and the media is talking about it, and that's not really true. The media doesn't talk about the problems of famous women. They don't talk about the real problems. It wasn't until very recently where people came out against famous actors and we had the Me Too movement. But that's not what she's trying to say here. She's not trying to talk about the Me Too movement. She's trying to do what Donald Glover did, but she's doing it wrong.
Get a man, get a man, get a man. Make a fan, make a fan, make a fan. I gotta give up my dreams. Rather be the Taliban.
I gotta give up my dreams. I'd really be the Taliban.
Not sure everyone's gonna get the Taliban line. I was referencing the female fighters who've been kicking the Taliban's butt, and then I wouldn't want to be the Taliban because then I get my butt kicked. Anyways.
What fucking drugs was she on? What the fuck? Instead of saying I'd rather be the Taliban, she could have said I'd rather fight the Taliban, or I'd rather beat, not be, but beat. Like, I don't understand who approved this. If I were a guy, you wouldn't be asking yourself, I wonder who made this. No, I'm not wondering who made this. I know exactly who made this piece of shit. Nicole Arbour made this piece of shit because she's a shitty person and she has a shitty creative process and she doesn't have any artistic talent. She doesn't have any artistic talent, and this video was devoid of any artistic talent whatsoever. So I'm not wondering who wrote that. I'm wondering who fucking approved it. Who looked at this and said, yes, this is good. I'm wondering who edited this and decided it was good to hand back. If someone handed this video to me and said, edit this and make it look nice, I would accidentally lose it in a dumpster fire. This is fucking terrible. And just, who thought it would be a good idea to upload this? Who? I would say I have mild feministic views. I'm not an extremist. I think women should be given the same opportunities and have the same chances that men have. However, this proves that some women don't get chances because they're goddamn retarded. I'm not saying this is bad because you're a woman. I'm saying this is bad because it fails. It completely fails artistically. There is very few good things in this video.
These my titties.
Not that. Why would you play that? There are very few good things in this video. It makes a few good points, but it completely misses the message entirely, and it is devoid of artistic talent. If you gave me a few days, I could write a better song. I'm not going to because I'm a pussy, but writing a song that has more meaning is not much harder than this. You can't just throw in a bunch of injustices and hope it works. You have to actually plan things out and have meaning and have a theme, like Childish Gambino did. You can't just throw in a bunch of bad shit that happens and say these bad things happen to women. I'm making a point, because you're not making a point at all. You're just saying bad things that happen. There's no other point than these bad things happen. Childish Gambino's point was these bad things happen in the background. Your point was these bad things happen. It was just very bad. It was very poorly done. It was extremely cringy, but you know, sometimes you have to get past the cringe to analyze something. If I ever made something this shitty or that sounded worse, I would not release it. I would just not release it. I'm not saying I can write better lyrics than this, but I'm saying if I ever did write lyrics as bad or worse than this, I just wouldn't release it because it just sucks. I'd show it to some friends, they'd tell me I'm a goddamn autist, and I'd go work on something else. This was a giant dumpster fire. You should feel bad. There are so many more things you could say about Nicole Arbour, why this song is bad, why this song fails, but I wanted to compare it to the original to prove why it fails as a song artistically. It's just not good. I think those are all the points I have. I think that's everything I wanted to say. If you have any comments, if you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm a giant misogynist, which I explained why I'm not, but if you still think that, you can comment in the section below. But yeah, there's like a 25-minute video coming on the way. It's taking me so long to edit since I'm kind of new at editing, but it's gonna be at least okay. It's gonna be watchable. Thanks for watching, Lamb Squad. Don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to share that button with everyone you know. Share, 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 share. Thanks for watching, Lamb Squad. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.